The reason we're here continuing this story almost a quarter century later, the reason we're back in the arena with Gladiator 2 is because of the man I'm about to introduce. So please join me in welcoming Sir Ridley Scott.
The reason I'm limping is because we did the film in 51 days. What a thrill this is to celebrate the sequel of a film made 25 years ago. It was a very special film that took a life of its own and somehow has continued to echo globally for a quarter of a century. That's an eternity. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce my fellow travelers on this journey. Mr. Paul Mescal, the indestructible Lucius. Connie Nielsen is Lucilla, who's beautifully survived the evil empire for 25 years. And one of the twin princes of Rome, Fred Hechinger, who is crazy at the Sex Pistols. And lastly, the super rich merchant who covers the throne of Rome, the wonderful Denzel. Okay, you're about to see the movie. Every film speaks for itself, and this certainly does. So my fellow producers, Doug Wick, Lucy Fisher, Mike Cross, Permanent Picture Corporation are very proud of this achievement. We love it. We hope you will too. Strength and honor.
Categorically, there's nobody else you want to kind of get in behind or go into battle with than Ridley Scott in a film like this. This is his wheelhouse. This is where he's, like, he can do anything, but this is what he does, I think, better than anybody else. I mean, if you don't have the faith or the backing of your director, there's no point in even starting. But I think he knew that this was new for me. and I think he allowed me to feel the faith that he had, which is also a skill in and of itself. So for that, even for the opportunity, I'm utterly grateful, but also the kind of support and the trust is just phenomenal, and I feel it from him not only then but now as well. What I find pretty spectacular about this cast is that we've all got such different strengths. You know, you've got Denzel, who's the best in the game at what he does. You've got Pedro, you've got Connie, who's returning 25 years on. You've got Fred, who's just like the biggest nerd for acting that I've ever come across, which I adore the guy. You've got Joe Quinn. We've all got a very specific set of skills, but the thing that we have in common is our love for Ridley Scott and our love for this film.
Size, scope, attention to detail, heart, pain, big, love, and gives the actor the opportunity to soar. It's a great ensemble. You know, he put together a lot of theater actors, and there were no stars. There were no, just good actors doing our job. Too big. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'd never been in a movie like this, and I've never been on a red carpet like this. I mean, this is our budget for most of the movies I've made. In fact, I'm stealing some of the sets.
There are battle sequences in this movie that he tried to put in the first one that he's been thinking about and perfecting in his mind for over 20 years now. I mean, the movie lives with Ridley Scott. It's been wild. I mean, we've truly traveled the world. Being able to meet so many people and share this film with so many people, it's a blessing to make a movie. Bar none, just to make a movie. It's a blessing if it gets made. To make one that so many people are so excited about, that we get to share in such a massive way, it's like 100-fold. I think you will be entertained.
I mean, it's kind of surreal, really. It's surreal. It's been such an incredible privilege, and a privilege to work with such amazing people, and also a privilege for me to get to tell Lucilla's story, what happened to her after that day in the arena at the end of the first film, what happened, and it's like getting to tell that story is amazing. He's already a CinemaScope type of guy, right? But now it's really big. Now it's IMAX size now, right? And I don't know. I think he'll probably do the next one for that round screen, like where you're completely immersed. I would not be surprised. First of all, like working with Ridley is like to enter into like this super collaborative experience. Like somebody who not only likes this, he expects you to bring your game, and like anything that you've got as ideas, he wants to hear it. And I guess even if you didn't want to hear it, I would certainly offer it. He's just basically upped the spectacle even more and just made it even more huge and crazy. Like, I don't think we would have been able so much to do a fight scene with a rhinoceros on the first one, but this one we do. You will be entertained.
It's a phenomenal experience. First and foremost, Ridley Scott is my hero. And to work with him and see just how he could pull so many elements together, it was a remarkable experience. He's a force, and I was just impressed with his ability to sort of every single day coming with so much energy. There were like 11 cameras on at the same time. He could keep each beat in line for the entire day, edit it, come back and do it again the next day. Remarkable. I would say I feel incredibly lucky. This doesn't happen all the time, so I'm just taking every beat of it in. You will be entertained.
No, I mean, they're a fantastic cast. All of them are brilliant, and I had a good time. Fantastic. This film is, a sequel to one that's 25 years ago. So the great thing about it is, from my point of view, is I'm kind of amazed and delighted that we're able to make a sequel. Paul, I saw doing a charming show called Normal People. And I tend to, when I'm watching stuff, I tend to look at the incoming, not the outgoing. I'm an outgoing. So I watch incoming because you get all the new talent. And I was engaged with Paul and his lady partner, and that was really terrific. So I binged on 8 hours of Normal People. Thought, this is the guy.
It's his world, and we're all living in it. He created it, We're certainly all living it in the form of this movie, but he created it, and it's his vision, It's his universe, both visually and probably in terms of themes and stuff like that as well. So I mean, there's no question that he's the only one. For us, obviously, it was a big challenge because, no spoilers, but it's the previous movie, everybody died at the end, so there was nobody left to bring back. So we really had to reinvent it, kind of a whole new chapter, a whole new story, 25 years out. And so, we wound up almost going to square one in terms of telling something that was could stand on its own. I can say in qualified terms, it's even bigger than the first one in terms of the scale of what they built in Malta. I mean, so many movies these days are green screen, where it's all just actors with green dots all over their face and they're in front of whatever. But in this, it's all there. He built everything. He built the world, physically. And I think it really makes a difference in terms of what this movie feels like and how you experience it, that no other effects green screen kind of movie can parallel.
Truly a once-in-a-lifetime gathering of talent. Only Ridley Scott could pull off such a huge feat. We had a long and epic shoot last year in Malta and Morocco, and thankfully, even through 2 strikes, everybody stuck with us, and all our friends and partners at Paramount, and hopefully the results speak for themselves. Well, he made a pretty good first film, and then 24 years on, he's coming back to the Coliseum, and I think that is a blessing for everybody who loves movies and loves the cinema, and obviously we're all trying to fight to keep the cinema great, and spectacle, is important these days. So I think Rid's one of the 5 directors in the world that can make movies at this level, isn't he? So the perfect, who better to do it? The scope and the scale is enormous. I mean, that's really the word to use. We built half of the Coliseum in Malta. Ridley absolutely loves doing things practically. So a lot of the things you see are in camera, of course, with some great visual effects as well. But it really was about making sure everybody feels that they're in Rome, that if you can live and breathe every part of the Roman Empire here, in the Colosseum, out of the Colosseum, sharks, rhinos, baboons, decadent banquets, whatever you like in movies, there is something here for you.
Well, because he's the master of the universe, past, present, and future. So he does it all. And the canvas is so big, the world of ancient Rome. I think he's one of the, if not the only director in the world who could handle that size of canvas, because he's an artist as well. He paints still. That's, I think, his true love. But he also likes working with 12 cameras at the same time, and only does a couple of takes with them. He's the maestro.
Well, the scope it's huge, but it is at heart. It's a personal story. Lucius is being pulled towards his mother, and musically, I was able to make a theme for Lucius that when you hear it, there's a little fluty thing, a high ancient flute. It's almost as if he's being drawn towards this woman who turns out to be his mother. But so it's a personal story. It has emotion, but it is some of these action sequences are pretty huge.
He's the only possible tour guide that the audience should ever have to take them to ancient Rome. We did it the first time. I thought of all of the audience in a bus. Ridley's in front. He's got the microphone. He's your tour guide to ancient Rome. It worked once. We thought, we got to come back to ancient Rome. And then it took us 25 years to find the right road there, but we did. These movies have to be a mirror to our world, or they don't work. They can't stay in the period. So how about this? You get a billionaire who's buying his way into power, manipulating. It feels very contemporary. There, as Lucy says, the reason it took us 25 years is we had to wait for Paul to be born. Trust Ridley.